Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you are feeling festive as much as I am with my Christmas sweater and my beautiful Christmas tree behind me. I'm super happy to share with you my first Yule log recipe in this YouTube channel. This is a first and it's amazing. We are gonna make a triple chocolate Yule log. In French, you will call that Bûche de Noël, and as you will see, this recipe is super light and still intense in chocolate flavor, not too sweet. Believe me, I hate when Christmas desserts are just too sweet, too dense, too fat, you just want to eat everything at the Christmas table, so you don't have to make a super intense dessert, and this is the perfect recipe for it, even though it's amazing. Believe me, we're gonna make everything homemade and we are not gonna use any type of equipment, to be honest. You can make this recipe with nothing in your kitchen and it will still look fabulous. So let's get right into it. Alright, so in our beautiful Bûche de Noël, we will have a sponge cake, which will be chocolate flavored. And then we're gonna fill it and roll it with a mascarpone cream cheese and white chocolate filling, super light and not too sweet. And then we're gonna cover everything in some whipped dark chocolate ganache and then some decorations made out of milk chocolate and white chocolate. This will look fabulous without any sort of mold or special pan or anything. So let's get right into it with the sponge recipe. I'm going to start by separating my eggs between whites and yolks, and I'm going to leave my whites aside while I work on the yolks. In our yolks, I'm going to add some sugar. This is cane sugar, but you can use any type of sugar in this recipe. And I'm also going to add some pure vanilla extract, always important, and some espresso powder. This will intensify the cocoa flavor in the recipe, but you will not taste the coffee flavor. And then we're gonna mix everything with a whisk until it is light and pale in color. This looks wonderful. It just took about 5 minutes to whisk, so just be patient. This recipe is a great exercise, that's for sure. And I'm going to then sift in my cocoa powder and I'm going to mix one more time with my whisk, and as you will see, it will be super thick. Time to add some melted butter for extra richness, and then we can work on the egg whites. For my egg whites, I'm basically gonna add some salt to them and then we're gonna whisk them until very frothy. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar as well, as if I were making some meringue, but it is definitely not meringue since there's not enough sugar in there. But it will just stabilize your egg whites and give them a bit more strength before adding them to the chocolate mixture. And just be patient, you will have to whisk for about 2 to 3 minutes. Time to incorporate our eggs, and I'm going to add 1/3 of my egg whites in our dark chocolate preparation, and I'm going to mix carefree because we do not care about the air or anything at this stage. We just want to loosen up the batter, and then we can add the second and the third thirds to our preparation, and this time be very careful not to kill your bubbles. This looks amazing, almost like chocolate mousse, exactly what we want. So we're gonna spread everything in our prepared baking pan. This is a baking pan that I just spread with some butter and then covered with some parchment paper just to make sure that everything comes out easily. And this is 30 by 37 centimeters. I will add all of the details in the description box for the ingredients and the pan size I use. And once everything is spread really well, we're gonna bake everything in our preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes or until it looks set, and that when you put your finger on it, it bounces back up, which means that it's perfectly baked. And then we're gonna let it cool for about 2 minutes, not more, before rolling it. Our sponge has slightly cooled, so it is time to roll everything up. And I'm using here a wet towel that I'm just going to use to roll my gorgeous sponge, and then we can let it cool completely rolled like this. This will make sure that we don't have cracks when we roll our Bûche de Noël. While our sponge is cooling down, we can take care of the ganache since it will need to cool a bit before we use it. So we're just going to melt together some dark chocolate, and I'm going to add to that some cream and some butter, and I'm going to melt everything in the microwave, or you can use a bain-marie if you want to, just to make sure that you don't burn your chocolate. Once everything is melted, you can leave it aside at room temperature and then move on to the next step. Our sponge is made and our ganache also, so now it is time to take care of the frosting or filling, should I say, which is mascarpone cream cheese and white chocolate. Amazing, everything we want and need at this time of year. And I'm going to start by melting some white chocolate in the microwave. You can also do that over a bain-marie. And then we're gonna whisk our mascarpone cream cheese with some vanilla extract just to loosen it up a bit since it is super firm. My cheese is super loose and my white chocolate is super melted, so it is now time to combine the two. Be careful, my white chocolate here is not hot, of course. It is liquid, yes, but not warm. It should be cold, or at least at room temperature, and then you're gonna incorporate it with your spatula, mixing thoroughly, and then I'm going to add a few tablespoons of double cream or any type of cream you want to this preparation just to make it a bit more loose. Time to unroll our gorgeous sponge, and as you can see it is super light looking, and we're gonna spread all of our filling on top of it with a spatula, and it will be super satisfying. Now I'm just gonna roll everything back up into a Yule log, and it starts already to look like a Bûche de Noël, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge while we work on the rest of the recipe. Time to work on our chocolate decorations, and it could not be simpler. I'm just going to melt some milk chocolate and some white chocolate, and I'm going to spread a thin layer of milk chocolate on a flat surface. I suggest using some parchment paper just to make sure that nothing sticks. And then I'm going to create a marble effect with the white chocolate. It will look super fancy and super chic, even though you didn't really do anything. It's just the chocolate and the marble, and it's just what I want and need for this Christmas. Once you're satisfied with the look, you can just put it for about 10 minutes in the freezer, just so that the chocolate sets. My favorite time is here. It is time to assemble everything up since all of our ingredients and components are ready. So I'm just going to whisk my ganache and whip it and transform it into whipped ganache, basically. This will just add air and just gorgeousness, and it will look fabulous. And then I'm going to unroll my Yule log and cut the ends of my cake just to make sure that it fits my serving plate. And then we can cover everything up with the beautiful ganache. As you can see, I had a lot of fun decorating this cake, and the fun is not over. So now I'm just going to cut my chocolate marble into weird, funky forms and shapes. I do not care how they look, if it's a triangle or a square. I just want to create a random decoration, to be honest. Kind of like a hedgehog, and I'm going to add everything on top of our Yule log like a beautiful explosion. I suggest keeping this cake in the fridge until you need it. You can make it a bit ahead of time, but I also recommend that you leave it out at room temperature for about 30 minutes before serving, since your ganache will be just too hard and it can easily be a mess when you cut into this cake. And there you go, that's how I make my amazing Bûche de Noël, or Yule log if you want to say it in English, but Bûche de Noël sounds just more fancy and French. I don't know how you feel it, but I like it, and I hope that you will enjoy this bûche as much as I do. Honestly, it is quite a bit of work, and you know it since this video is a bit longer than usual, but don't be scared. You can make some steps ahead of time, for example, the cake, the chocolate decorations, the ganache, everything can be made in advance, and then you just have to roll everything up with the filling. It is that simple, if I can say so. You can find the entire list of ingredients in the description box down below this video if you want to recreate this recipe, and if you do so, please share it with me on my social media, so Instagram. Willie's Kitchen is the name of my account, and you should definitely subscribe to my Instagram as well as this YouTube channel if you want to help me grow here. And please give this video a like and a comment if you want to chat. I'll be very happy to respond, and I'll see you very soon for another amazing Christmas recipe. Bye!